If there was one book series that was cherished by every elementary school boy, it is the timeless, the legendary Diary of a Wimpy Kid series. If you never had the pleasure of reading any book from this masterclass of a series, the basic premise is that you follow Greg Heffley, a literal shit stain of a human being, as you follow him on his adventures and crazy shenanigans in middle school, with his dysfunctional family and naive best friend. There are currently over 15 books in the main series, hot damn! And our topic of discussion today are the 4 movies. Now, I like to think the Wimpy Kid movies are a trilogy with a fan fiction some Redditor made they called the 4th movie. Now, I watched the first 3 movies an excessive amount of times. However, the fan fiction known as The Long Haul, I haven't seen until the making of this video. So what I'll be doing today is that I'll talk about every single Wimpy Kid movie, give it my thoughts, and at the end we'll rank them worst to best in my opinion. Cause why not? It's fun. So, let's get started with the OG, the classic, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Ah, the classic, the original, the one I don't really have much to say on. I mean, what can be said about the original? It's the original. I mean, I guess I could talk about how this movie was played on Cartoon Network every other day. Also like to point out that the first person we see in this movie is Roderick. So right away, the people who made this movie knew Roderick stans would rise eventually. I will also admit one of my favorite parts of this movie as a kid was the scenes that replicate the original book's illustrations. I always thought it was cool because it was like, oh, whoa, it was like the book. And by the way, I have to point out that Ice Age is indeed canon to the Wimpy Kid universe, meaning that Family Guy is also canon to the Wimpy Kid universe, because Sid the Sloth said the theme song on the Fox channel.
It seems today that all you see is violence in movies and sex on TV. But where are those good old-fashioned values on which we used to rely? Lucky there's a Family Guy, and he's coming up next.
And in my headcanon, Greg is the type of kid that watches Family Guy, even the bad episodes. Jokes aside, if you grew up in elementary school reading the books and watching the movies, this movie is just iconic. Every character, every joke is just embedded into my brain at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if one day I just watched this movie and memorized every line of dialogue. However, the big question is this movie still good, and does it still hold up without the nostalgia? It's hard to say. It is a harmless movie with a few jokes that could be deemed questionable, like the scene where Greg pees on Roderick. Like, that's a little weird. But is it a bad movie? No. However, I think adults who, with no knowledge of the Wimpy Kid books or anything like that, might not have a great time with this movie, especially with like Greg being a fucking asshole to literally everyone in this movie, minus the ending where he's actually, decent. I think the only adults that would enjoy this movie unironically are people with nostalgia with the Wimpy Kid franchise. Overall, it was a treat to revisit this movie. However, newcomers to the Wimpy Kid franchise might have a hard time getting used to it. Spoiler alert, this is the best Wimpy Kid movie. If you didn't see that coming, either you haven't watched this movie at all, or you're too distracted by Roderick to think clearly. If you couldn't tell by the title, this is indeed Roderick's movie. Unfortunately, he's not like the main character or anything, since we still gotta focus on dipshit Greg being a simp for Holly, but Roderick does have a bigger role in this movie compared to the first one, thankfully. And I like how this movie portrays Roderick. Like, we know Roderick acts like this big tough guy around Greg, but we also see him with his friends and his insecurities come out. Like during the big party scene, his friends tell him to ask a girl to dance, and Roderick is clearly shown to be somewhat afraid and nervous, so he gives a relatable response in an already relatable situation. And I like how this movie shows a pretty honest sibling relationship between a older and younger sibling. Fuck Manny though. No one likes Manny. Little fucker. We see both Greg and Roderick's flaws, and we see them slowly start to bond more and more throughout the movie, until the unfortunate scene where Frank finds out the two of them through a party. Then we see a pretty realistic depiction of two siblings at each other's throat, with one trying their hardest to make the other one miserable as possible, just to get back at them. This movie is just so much better than the first. I think people who haven't seen the movies might actually like this one a lot more than the first, at least. And I don't mean to bash on the first one too much, it's just nice to see the series get better and overall have a better movie. But now we reach the finale in the trilogy with the ending of this Greg saga with Dog Days. First off, I love the summer vibe in this movie. From the boardwalk to the pool to the ice cream, this movie just gives off that summer feeling, especially with the song choices of the time. Gets that nostalgia, you know? Honestly, I think this is the movie I watched the most, ironically, during one summer. I don't really have much to say on this one besides Roderick still looks hot. I mean, what? And Frank is actually a character this time around, unlike the last two movies where he has like 3 lines. This is just a pretty alright sequel compared to Roderick Rule's better sequel, or good sequel, I should say. Although, is it better than the OG? Also hard to say. I think the OG and Dog Days are honestly on the same level. Is Dog Days better than Roderick Rules? No, why would you even ask that, you ooga booga big brain caveman dumbass? Oh, how I dreaded this day, where I actually have to watch this movie. But alas, it had to happen one day, and unfortunately, I have watched it, and it is truly the worst of the Wimpy Kid movies. Yes, absolutely, no doubt. However, is it the worst movie of all time? No, but it's still not good. If there was a definition for a downgrade in a movie franchise, this movie would be it. The biggest problem a lot of people have with this movie prior to watching it is the new cast. Now, is the new cast bad? Well, I wouldn't say that. However, it does take some getting used to. I think Frank and Susan are kind of casted as fine, especially Frank. Greg is a little weird casting, but oh god, Roderick. Yes, I know a lot of people hate him because he replaced the god Devin Bostic, but I think he's just doing his best at what he was given, because for some weird reason, my problem with Roderick in this movie, it's not because of a different actor, it's that they made Roderick so frustratingly stupid. Like, Roderick in the original trilogy wasn't stupid, he was just dumb. He was dumb, but he wasn't stupid. But for some reason, Roderick is literally the stupidest character in media in this movie. He also kinda looks like Delson from Infamous Second Son without a beanie. I don't know, that just popped into my head. Rowley is barely in this movie, so there's really no need to mention him. But Manny, I said it for the original movies, I'll say it for this one. Fuck Manny. Also, for this movie, they really went balls to the walls with the gross out humor. Like, yeah, in the original movies there was gross out humor, but in this movie it's 80% gross out humor with poop, pee, farts, gross human behavior, and vomit. And the other 20% is just cringe. And maybe like that 2-3% there's actually good jokes. Like, I think overall there's like 3-4 good jokes in this movie. Not like laugh out loud funny, but like, that's pretty cool. Or not cool, funny. What? This movie's not fucking cool. For some reason, they're just using like 2007 meme templates in this movie, only dating this movie even more, even though it came out in 2017. So, yeah, shows how old the people writing this were. Also, there's this YouTuber that Greg looks up to. Yes, I said YouTuber. He's a Let's Player that honestly would be the equivalent to Jay Station. This movie is just another crazy shenanigans with the family kind of movie. But honestly, Frank didn't deserve all the crap that happened to him in this movie. He's just trying to do his damn job. If there's one thing I kinda do like is the Jeff Kinney cameo. He also cameos in the second movie, I believe. I don't think he cameos in the first and third one. But in the second one he does cameo, but he's like in the fucking background so you can barely see him. But overall, honestly, I'd rather watch Alexander in the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day instead of this movie. So, that's pretty much it for the Wimpy Kid movies. However, how would I rank them? I'll tell you. Worst movie is without question The Long Haul. It is such a downgrade from the original trilogy, without question. Third, I'd say Dog Days. It is not bad by any means compared to fucking Long Haul, but the first two is just way more enjoyable to watch. Second is the OG, the classic, the legend, the nostalgia trip itself. And of course, the best Diary of a Wimpy Kid film, with no questions, no criticisms, Roderick Rules. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. The funny Diary of a Roderick movie are indeed a nostalgia bomb. Besides the fanfic that is long haul, I wouldn't mind revisiting these movies another time, but these movies are not meant to be watched like every week. It gets a little tiring, especially back then when I used to watch these movies a lot. It got really, really, really tiring. I think the only movie that would be fun to rewatch like once a week would be Roderick Rules. But other than that, nah, I'm fine with watching these like every other fucking 6 months. I don't know. However, this is not the end for it's so hard to say Diary of a Wimpy Kid films. Because if you guys didn't know, there is in fact another one, but it is going to be way different from the last 4 because it is completely animated in CG, which is a little weird. So it's not like the format of the books. The animation style is similar to the books, but it's in color and 3D. Well, not completely 3D, but it's made in CG. And I think it's going to depict the book Cabin Fever. I might be wrong, but alas, we are getting a Wimpy Kid movie coming to Disney Plus. I think it's coming out either this Christmas or next year, because it is a Christmas, well, not Christmas, but a winter themed Wimpy Kid movie, which we haven't gotten yet, so that's going to be unique. That is it for Wimpy Kid movies. All I have to say is Roderick's pretty cool. Hello, you beautiful people. This is Dodie. Thank you for watching my kinda delayed Wimpy Kid video. Originally, I was going to do like a pure ranking video, but then I realized that it's only like 4 movies compared to like my last ranking, which I did like 9. So yeah, I decided to make this like a little analysis, like my thoughts and opinions on it, and do a little quick ranking at the end. Besides, the ranking's pretty easy. I think everyone knew what's the worst one and what's the best one. If you didn't think Roderick Rules is the best Wimpy Kid movie, I don't know what to tell you, honestly. But yeah, sorry it took a bit to get this video out. I was kind of like, not over it of making videos, but I was like kind of like being lazy about it. Also, literally as I'm recording this, I kind of just got off work because I actually got a new job. Well, not a new job because this is my first job, but I got my first job. So it might be a little more time before my next video because I'll most likely have to work on it during the weekdays, maybe weekends. But I'll try to post as often as I can. Maybe I'll make super short videos so you guys have something. And it would be really appreciated if you guys shared this with your friends. I don't know about your family because I do curse a lot. But that's pretty much all I have to say. Thank you guys for watching, especially if you watched the entire video. I am really thankful for you guys. Please subscribe. I'm not going to tell you to like. You don't have to like, but I'd like if you subscribe. But yeah, that's everything. Thank you guys for watching, and this is Dodie. Bye-bye.